So I'm delighted to introduce our speaker this morning, Deborah Goodall. Deborah is an experienced strategist and marketing expert, so I think you'll gain a lot from the tips and techniques and insights she'll be able to share. She's worked with a huge variety of different businesses on to develop and implement marketing plans, but very much with the individual business in mind. So rather than the approach of having a solutions and just taking them from place to place, Deborah's very much about finding the right solution to meet the objectives of the businesses that she's working with. She's a regular speaker. She's appeared for the BBC many times as well. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the chat, and any questions we'll pick them up as we go through. So without further ado, let me hand you over to Deborah. Deborah, welcome.
Thanks very much, Mark. So thanks for joining me, everybody. We don't seem to have such a ridiculous number of people on this call, so I think it'd be quite nice if folk are open to switching their cameras on and maybe just introducing themselves to the group, because what I'd quite like people to do is interact along the way. So I will be asking you about, what you're doing direct digital marketing wise, etc. So I think if we just start off by people, if you could just switch your cameras on, and then I will ask you to introduce yourselves. Oh, hello, we've got some people. Now I can't see people's names. That's an interesting challenge. Okay, so we're going to describe people to introduce themselves. So a chap with a beard, if you wouldn't mind bearding glasses.
I think it's Jonathan.
Jonathan, hello. Do you want to just do a quick intro, Jonathan? Tell us what your business is, where you're based.
Oh, yeah.
You take yourself off mute, bottom left-hand corner.
Actually, I can probably do that. Yeah, I've unmuted you.
No, he's still on mute. No. Okay, we'll move on to the lady with the sort of brunette, long hair, gold necklace on, white t-shirt.
Hi, I'm Alice. I work for a company called ... Property, which is a property guardian social enterprise. I'm a marketing coordinator, so I do a lot of email marketing and social media management. And yeah, I'm just here to learn more about the digital marketing. Yeah.
Okay. Anita.
Yeah, hello, good morning, everyone. I apologize for my camera, it's not in the right direction.
It's fine, we can see you.
Yes, my name is Aneta Gipka. I'm director of the RAF General Engineering, and I'm doing the finance side.
Okay.
So try to find out a little bit more about digital because I'm more other stuff busy with different things. I'm trying to sort things myself. So
okay.
I just want to know a little bit more about it.
Okay, good. Who else we got with a camera on? Chap with a green jumper.
That's Russell, I think.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you, Russell. Morning.
I'm Russell Clark. I have self-catering cottages near Appleby, and that's where I am.
Okay.
I do everything.
Brilliant. Have we got anybody else that's switched their camera on? Oh, hang on. What's he say? Browser is preventing access to microphone. Oh my God, I love that. That is brilliant.
Technology, Jonathan.
Okay. Right, so no one else has switched their camera on that we've not spoken to, have they? No, okay. Right. We'll assume that they don't want to partake too much in this. So we just thought we'd sorted that out, but never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So today is just a basic overview of digital marketing options. So what we will go through is quick elements of getting started to kind of build a plan, but this is a very sort of quick fly through. We'll look at actually what digital marketing is, what's the role of digital marketing in the promotional mix, and the types of digital marketing that are available. So when we come on to the types, it will be just a quick overview of each of the different types. There are more webinars running in this series where you'll get an in-depth view on specifics of SEO and social media marketing and that kind of thing. So this is just to give you a flavour of the options that are out there. So obviously, the key thing to start off with is, what is digital marketing? And people try and make this into some dark art of marketing, but basically it's just an umbrella term for anything that's online. So anything that appears online that promotes your business is therefore part of your digital marketing activity. And sometimes it's referred to as online marketing, sometimes it's referred to as e-marketing. It's all digital. If it's online, that's exactly what it is. There's nothing special or different about it. And in terms of marketing, it's just a set of tools that you would use in the same way that you would use magazine advertising or PR, or I'm trying to think of traditional marketing techniques now, they've all gone, haven't they? Flyers through a door. It's the same sort of thing. You pick your target audience and then you select the media that's most relevant. Exactly the same with digital marketing. So in terms of what it includes, I mean, it's sort of an almost ever-growing list as things develop, but the key things that we will sort of delve into really, search engine marketing, all your social medias, email, your website itself is obviously part of your digital marketing mix, any digital adverts that you see. So I'm sure you've all been stalked around the internet by something that you were thinking about buying, and it pops up when you're reading the newspaper and you're like, oh, I think I will buy those shoes after all. There's all sorts of stuff. There's online brochures. And like I say, this list is ever growing as technology and almost about the way that the data and the track that we leave behind when we use the internet, as that becomes more accessible and it can be interpreted in a more intelligent way, then the list of digital marketing options is going to grow. And we've probably seen that over the last 5 to 10 years with things like intelligent search marketing. You know, so you've Googled something, I don't know, mattresses, and then all of a sudden you start getting served ads for mattresses, and you're like, I've not even been on that website. How do they know that I'm looking for a mattress? You're like, they must be listening to me. And there's all this chat about how your iPhone's listening to your conversations and all this sort of stuff. Nothing to do with that at all. It's the little cookies that you leave around the internet. So in terms of kind of the role of digital marketing, again, it's exactly the same as traditional marketing techniques. So it can be used for brand awareness, so to get your business known, for people to be aware of what it is that your business does. It can be used for lead generation. So it might be that you want people to make bookings for your accommodation, or you might want inquiries for your engineering business. You can also obviously use digital marketing to improve the retention rate of your customers. So this ties, I don't know if any of you were on last week's webinar with Guy, where he was talking about digital business solutions, but I'm sure he would have touched on CRMs because he does like talking about them, where you might have a customer relationship management system, or you might have an Excel spreadsheet, let's face it, where you have information about your customers, and then you can see how many of those are repeat buy-in from yourself. So by using some digital marketing techniques, you can actually improve your retention rate. The key thing with digital marketing to bear in mind, and not a lot of people say this, is you do need to integrate it with your other marketing avenues that you're using. So it's not going to work as a one-off. So just having a website is not going to grow your business or bring business to you. Just having adverts running on Google pay-per-click is not going to drive business to your business. It's about integration. So you need to know how it all links together. So going on about, we'll come on to this, but basically one thing is not going to work in the same way that if you just put out flyers, that is not enough to drive people to your business. If you just made phone calls, that's not enough to drive people to your business. It's about completing that circle. And they do reckon that you need to see someone's business name at least 7 times before you start making a decision to make a purchase from them. And that might be that you see it in an email, you might see an advert, you might look at their website, you might see an article in a magazine, you might hear about them on the radio, then you might revisit the website, and then you might make a purchase. So it's not a one thing fits all solution. You've got to think about it as an integrated system. So your basic types of digital marketing, we've got search engine optimization, so getting found by Google or Bing, social media marketing. So that's obviously all the stuff like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, but actually it covers a lot more than that. So it's anywhere where there is interactive user-generated content. So things like TripAdvisor, which, you know, I'm sure that Russell is familiar with, is also a form of social media. If you are in the sports arena, then there is a thing called Strava. That is also another form of social media. So there are niche social medias for different area, but it's all about sort of user-generated interactive content. Content marketing, so blogs, that kind of thing, pay-per-click and online advertising, affiliate marketing, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. Native advertising, so ads that fit within the content, so like an old-fashioned advertorial, and then email marketing. So what I'm quite interested to know is what are you guys doing at the moment in terms of digital marketing? And we'll start with Alice. Do you want to tell us what you're doing with digital marketing in your business?
I actually, yes, I do a lot with our social media. It's mainly, mainly around like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But I guess like we're also on Spare Room. I guess that would count as well.
Oh yeah,
as a social media.
Yeah.
That's where we advertise our properties on there. Content marketing as well, so yeah, producing blogs for our website. Not so much pay-per-click, but yeah, I think that is something that we're like looking to do more of in general. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the affiliate marketing or native advertising, like
so affiliate marketing, it tends to be used more by bigger businesses rather than sort of smaller businesses. And I don't know, about 10 years ago it was quite big and a lot of people did affiliate marketing. The only company I've worked with recently that has done affiliate marketing was someone that did outsized lingerie, and as part of their marketing mix we had affiliate marketing in there. And so I'll go into affiliate marketing a little bit later on in this, but basically it's about having adverts on other people's sites to drive traffic to your own, but there's a financial transaction that takes place to make that happen. Does anyone else want to share what they're doing digital marketing wise at the moment?
I would like to.
Yeah, hello.
I think, hello.
Yep.
I would like to. I mean, I think more or less we're the same what Alice says. We're using social media to advertise our business, but you mentioned we've got of course website, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, that's all. But you mentioned something about LinkedIn, all of them together. I think we struggle to link in the Facebook, Twitter working really well together. But just LinkedIn, it's we just couldn't find anything to link them all together.
Yeah, so what you don't want to do is link them link your platforms together, but you need to have an integrated approach, because what you'll have on LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter is different audiences that will respond to different messaging. So so you actually want to be posting different content on different social media platforms for it to work properly. But what you need to be thinking about is actually those people on LinkedIn, what else are they going to see that's part of your promotional mix? And where are you going to send them on your website so that they get the answers that they want, in contrast to where you might be sending people who see your stuff on Facebook? Where are you sending them to on your website? Because they'll want they'll have slightly different motivations and behaviors, and they're probably slightly different types of businesses that you're reaching on those different platforms, I would imagine.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you did, yeah, because we find out. But I think apart that, we're doing more or less the same. We don't do blogs. We're more or less social media at the moment. We updated the website. And apart that, that's all. So I don't have much to say, really.
That's good. All little stuff.
Maybe next year after this.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Russell, are you going to let us know, how do you use digital marketing to promote your cottages at the moment?
I'll have to hold my hand up and say that I've been very lax over. I've had it perversely. I've had a very busy couple of years, and I've let my digital marketing and website go to pot. So I need to reinvigorate it. To be honest.
Oh right, okay. Have you signed up for all of these webinars?
I have. Yeah.
Brilliant. So, because next week we're going to look at how to develop an effective marketing plan. So we'll spend some time going through the key things about target audience, which will be really important for understanding which platform you need to use. Okay, so everybody's doing sort of a little bit of something, or have done in the past. The key thing to think about is, you sort of go, oh my God, where do I start with this? Which bit of digital marketing am I going to use? The key thing here is actually to begin with the end in mind. And someone really clever and intelligent came up with that, and I don't know who it was, but always begin with the end in mind. So if you are going to start doing digital marketing, think about where you are going to send these people. So if you've got an advert running, or you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, are you sending them to your website? And if you are sending them to your website, is your website fit for purpose? So what I mean by that is your website aligned with whatever your objectives are for that post on LinkedIn, Facebook, or your email that you're sending out? Will it convert them into a customer ultimately, I guess is what we're saying. So always think about where you're going to send the people, and actually whether it's fit for purpose. So that's kind of your start point for this. We have, of course, got a webinar running on how to have an effective website. I'm such a, so you can tell I'm a marketeer, can't you? Think about, you know, what's your goal and objective? Are you looking for sales? Are you looking for leads? Are you looking to grow market share? Think about what your call to action is going to be, and how are you actually going to get people to go from whatever digital marketing activity you're undertaking. How are you going to get them to actually make contact with you? So are you sending them to your website? Are you sending them to a Facebook page? Some people don't have websites and they're just using Facebook pages. Have you just got a landing form that feeds into some MailChimp stuff? Or are you just putting a phone number on there? And if you're just putting a phone number on there, does the person that's answering the phone know what that adverts look like? So always think about working the whole process all the way through, but always start at the end and work backwards. Yeah, does that make sense to people? Yeah, got some enthusiastic nodding going on. So the other thing to bear in mind, and because my background has all been direct marketing, I'm a bit obsessed with being able to measure stuff. So I started off working in mail order catalogues, and we used to have to work out return per square inch of page. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody gets that detailed, because it was a little bit obsessive, but think about what your objective is for your marketing activity, and then think about how you're going to measure if you've achieved it or not. So are you looking for people to engage with your posts that you put out on social media? Are you looking for sales? Are you looking for inquiries? You know, what is that measurement going to be, and how are you going to know whether your digital marketing activity has actually worked? So even so-called free platforms, such as social media platforms, everybody's like, oh yeah, well, it's free. Well, it's not really, because you have got to spend time planning what you're going to put on there. You've got to spend time finding the right photographs. You've got to spend time understanding how the platform works. It's not actually free. It comes at a cost to you or your business in terms of, you know, people time and people not being able to do other jobs. So you still need to measure, actually, has it achieved what you want it to achieve? Nothing is ever free, yeah? If you haven't got Google Analytics at the moment on the back of your website, then I would strongly suggest that you put Google Analytics on your website, because that can give you an awful lot of information in terms of how people are getting to your website, but also which pages they're looking at. And then it will go into an awful lot more detail about actually the other stuff that people who come to your website, what else they are interested in, which helps a lot with targeting. It's a bit too detailed for covering off in this webinar. Are people currently measuring the results from their digital marketing activity? Come on, Alice, I bet you are.
Yeah, so we do use Google Analytics, but yeah, I'm kind of self-taught really, so I'm yeah, probably not like really proficient, but yeah, I do know kind of.
Yeah, you don't need to be proficient at Google Analytics to get the information out that you need to be able to do measurement, but it is just so super important to measure what is going on, because, you know, if you're responsible for running those social campaigns, then you'll know, like, they're not actually free. So yeah. Okay. Right. The other thing to
sorry, can I just come back to that Google analytics?
Yeah, Google Analytics. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, this is my second language, so I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine. You're doing
I'm a little bit confused. I never heard about it. So this is like a part of the website, or we need to add it to our website? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So Google Analytics is how to describe it? It's you put a tracking code into your website, which you get by going to put Google Analytics into Google. You'll get onto the right website. You get tracking code, which you can put into the back end of your website. And from that point forward, it will measure how many people come to your website, how many are unique visitors, which pages they look at, how long they spend on your website. You can set up little pathways so you can see whether they complete a contact form, which I'm guessing is probably what they do for your firm. Yeah, and that could be like a goal. You can see if they can buy from your website. You can see how much each customer's worth. You can see which channels sent them there and how much that channel is worth. There's so much.
More or less all the information really what's why we've got a website is neat. That's how I understand. It's just
it's like management information for the back end of the website. Yeah, but it's all free. And if you just
tracking code, if you don't mind me to ask, where I should go for the tracking code?
Yeah, if you just Google Analytics into Google, and there's like a sign-in process for it, and then it gives you your unique tracking code. That's and fine. Then either you or your developer can put it in the back end of your website.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing to kind of bear in mind when thinking about digital marketing is your budget. So how much are you prepared to spend? How much is it actually going to cost? And then think about actually the cost to acquire a customer and the cost to retain a customer. So I don't know if anybody at the moment is actually looking at cost of acquisition or cost of retention for customers, but you need to be thinking about what's the profit in the item that you're selling and how much can you afford to spend to acquire a new client, and then whether if they only buy once, how much are you prepared to spend to buy that client. But if they buy multiple times, then actually you might be prepared to spend more to acquire them the first time, knowing that they will spend significantly more with you on their like second and third purchase. So, but it is important to try and put some numbers against how much you are going to spend on your digital marketing. And again, this comes back down to monitoring it. So you need to know that you're getting your money back and some through whatever channel you're going through. But sometimes it might be that you actually spend more than you make to acquire your first customer, knowing that they will spend significantly more with you in future. So if you've got a pattern in your business where people buy something for, I don't know, £10 on their first purchase, you might spend £15 to acquire that customer, knowing that they will then go through and they will spend £25 on their next purchase, and then they'll buy something for £35, £45, £50, and they will increase and increase and increase. And it obviously depends on your business model as to how that pans out, but do keep looking at your numbers. You thought this was all about marketing, didn't you? It's not, it's about numbers really. Okay, so enough of all that sort of background planning stuff. So we'll run through some of the different techniques of digital marketing. So the most obvious one is search engine optimization, which is also called search engine management and something else, can't remember. Anyway, basically getting found on a search engine. And you're looking really to improve the rank of your results when people search for terms that are related to what you offer. Now, and I will fall into this trap. 90% of searches are on Google, and the rest are on things like Bing and Safari. And does Explorer still exist? I don't know if it does or not. Anyway, I tend to say Google, and actually what I mean is all search engines, in the same way that we say Hoover and actually we mean vacuum. So forgive me as I drop in and out of saying Google on this. The thing with search engine optimization is that you need to identify what your niche is to be able to stand out in the marketplace. So I've done screen grabs here to show this progression on candles. So you might start off just looking for candles. And if you were selling candles, you might find it quite difficult to stand out in search results against the likes of John Lewis and Yankee Candle. But as you delve down into this, so I've gone candles North Yorkshire, then the Yorkshire Candle Company comes up first, Yorkshire Rose Candles, the Little Yorkshire Candle Company, Alexandra Handmade, they're in North Yorkshire. And then as you progress and you do your research, it might be that I'm specifically looking for soy wax candles. I don't even know what they are, quite frankly, but anyway, this is where it led me. So then it starts bringing up, we've still got the Yorkshire Candle Company, who apparently do finest natural soy wax candles. We've got Vogue York, who are specific soy wax candle makers. And then we've got Halo soy wax candles. So I would never have got to these niche companies if I'd not been specific with my search, right? So if you think about buying something, think about actually how people would find your business. So would they do general research first and then start and whittle down to actually get to the specifics to find your company? So at the moment, I'm trying to find a mattress, and I started off looking for hybrid mattresses because I know I don't want another memory foam one, yeah. And that took me to all the big players like Simba and Eve and whatnot. And then as I started reading more about it, I thought, actually, do you know what? I want a mattress that's not got loads of chemical stuff in it, because that just doesn't sound good. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to breathe all that sort of stuff in. So then I started looking for hybrid mattresses with natural stuff in, and then started reading some more. And now I'm on to pocket sprung mattresses with wool, you know, so I've gone through this process myself in terms of actually, this is how we actually buy stuff. You know, you might want to buy a TV. You don't just want a TV, you want a HD TV. Then you want a HD TV that's like looking really cool with that curve thing, you know, so you do whittle down. So think about what makes your business or organization unique, and then really try to own that space rather than compete against, in this example, John Lewis and Yankee Candle, because you're unlikely to be able to compete against them. Yeah, does that make sense to everybody? So we've got a webinar running later on in this series, which is all about attracting people to your website, and in that we're going to look more at search engine optimization and about actually the mechanics of it, really. But if you think about owning your niche as like a starter and think about what is it that makes my business different, then you won't go far wrong. Yeah. What makes your cottages unique, Russell? Stunned silence.
That's a good question. It's just the location, really, I suppose. We're ideally located to visiting Lake District, Hadrian's Wall, or North Pennines, Westmoreland Dales, but you can get peace and quiet here as well if you want to go walking. You're not got the big queues and that up the main Lake District fells and things like that. So you have to push people to get them out here, because nobody's heard of the Eden Valley as much as the Lake District, and everybody wants to go to Windermere. But once you get them here, as you said earlier on, once you get them here, they come back. So we get this. Yeah, it's hard getting that initial customer.
Yeah. So do you think that people are searching for cottages, peace and quiet cottages near Hadrian's Wall, or do you think they're searching for things like cottages, you know, walk-in friendly cottages, dog friendly cottages, stuff like that? What do you think you should be appearing under?
I think we do get some family friendly type searches and things like that. We do get a lot of families and walkers and people for slightly different than, but we do get a lot of calls. How far from Windermere are you? Because they think Cumbria is.
Oh, is
nothing wrong with Windermere? Don't get me wrong, but everybody thinks Windermere is the whole of Cumbria. But
yeah, it wouldn't be my choice of the Lake District to go to on holiday.
Well, the horses for courses, I always say.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Different things. And we're not, and I'm not, and I don't hide the fact that we do get overflow when Windermere and the Lake District is full. We do get overflow that people have to come out, but that helps us because once we get them coming back.
Yeah, they come back. Yeah, because it's quite nice and quiet. Yeah. Okay, so the other really quick example I've got on this, which is slightly related to Russell's business, is I've been working with a company, just started working with them yesterday actually, and they've got a yacht that you can go stay on as accommodation for a holiday, and they were struggling with search engine optimization because people don't really search to go stay on a yacht. And so they weren't ranking because people weren't searching because they don't know that this accommodation is available. But actually what we identified was that the type of customer that they want is looking for a cool place to stay or a unique place to stay or alternative accommodation. So then they're not looking for something traditional. So actually their search terms are a lot broader, but still quite niche. So there's not a lot of searches for cool stays. But so we're going to try and get them to rank for things where they will pop up that are still quite niche search, but not actually stay on a yacht for a night, because nobody really is searching for that kind of thing. Okay. So moving on. So the other thing, next thing is social media, which people have all sort of mentioned that they're using in one form or another. The thing to consider with social media, sort of at a broad brush level, is that it's not just you or your page, or even to the point that it's not just your group, but people are also using social media for search. So over here, we've got this example, you know, searching for a cottage on the Lincolnshire coast, which brings up lots of different results, one of which is Lincolnshire coastal cottages. It might be that I'm searching for somewhere dog friendly to stay, and then there's dog friendly Lincolnshire as a sort of group on Facebook. So if you had somewhere dog friendly to stay in Lincolnshire, it might be that you want to get listed within that page. There's also things like Holidays with Dogs UK, which is another group on Facebook. So if you've got a dog and you're looking for somewhere to stay, then it might be that you go to that page. So don't just think about social media as being sort of pushing your messages out to people from your page. Social media is the social bit of your digital marketing. So you need to be thinking, actually, where will my audience be looking for me on social media, and can I get a presence in there? So Holidays with Dogs UK, if Russell accepts dogs at his self-catering cottages, he might want to join that group and either promote his cottage or respond to queries that are in there where people are saying, you know, I've got 3 huskies and I need a self-enclosed garden with a 7-foot fence and all this sort of stuff. Have you got any availability on these dates in August? And it might be that that's a great avenue for Russell to go down. So don't just think about social media as your page. There's lots and lots of things going on social media that you can tap into to kind of reach a bit further. And I've put over here this grab from TripAdvisor, can't think what it was called then, where people might be searching for things to do, Lincolnshire coastline, places to stay, that kind of thing. You know, they could be looking for hotels, rentals, restaurants. So again, it's about being in the places that you think your target audience will be looking. It's not just about pushing stuff out. They're not just going to come to your page for no reason. They don't know you exist, yeah? Unless you're some massive brand. And then life would be easy. Okay, so content marketing. So this could be blogs on your own website, which is fine for sort of contributing to your search engine optimization and providing, you know, information that people might want to read about your business, etc. But actually, we're back to people don't necessarily know that you exist, so they might want to find you by falling on content about you through another site that they are reading things on. So this is Our Bucket List Lives. So website all about, you know, family travel, days out, reviews, etc. And you know, I've looked for things to do in Cumbria. So there's Ray Castle, the World of Beatrix Potter. There's a big list of things to do. Now, if you had a tourist attraction in Cumbria that was of interest to families, then it might be that you work hard at getting a listing onto Our Bucket List Lives. If that's not right for you, then you need to find, you know, the right one for you. This one here is a bit more sort of PR based. If you think about content marketing as being digital PR, because basically that's what it is. So this is Coast magazine. Now this may well have featured in Coast magazine as in the actual magazine that sits on your coffee table, but it's also in the digital content as well. Here they're doing a review of the experience of going to the Lake District National Park and doing a bit of husky sledding on the beach. Really great promotion for mushing huskies. Trying to think, where's the business there? Horse and husky, God, that's difficult to say. Horse and husky, based near Ravenglass. So this will link to the horse and husky websites, and it might be that people who are reading Coast magazine are interested in trying this experience, so they will therefore kind of go to that website, find out a little bit more, you know, and then potentially book to go and do this husky experience. So it's not, content marketing is not just on your site. Blow it wider, think about where people might be hanging out on the internet, or where they might look to find whatever it is that you're offering. Yeah. Some nods, that's always good. Okay, so paid for ads, I'm sure we've all seen these. So Houseplants UK, we've got like the shopping ads at the top. These are all fed through different providers. And then you've got your sort of typical PPC adverts running, which are a lineage ad. I'm kind of variable on whether they're effective or not. I think they are decreasing in effectiveness unless you've got something quite specific that you're selling. I think there's other ways to intelligently pay for adverts digitally these days rather than necessarily go down the PPC route. Was anybody doing PPC? No, we didn't get any nods on that, did we? No, people weren't doing PPC. So there's a whole array of options when it comes to paid for. So this is basically the dashboard that you get when you go to Google Ads. So it gives you all of the different types that they are currently offering for paid for ads. There are an awful lot of options that you can do. Things like the Google Display Network can be really good, particularly if you're trying to raise brand awareness. So that's where Google then acts as a, how to describe this? They buy space on other websites, and then you buy space within the Google Display Network. So your advert can then appear in other websites, but you can be specific about the types of websites or the interests of the people that you want to target. So the display network is where, so I said I've been searching for mattresses recently, and then I'm getting presented with adverts for mattresses. That's because I've done a search for mattresses. That has obviously triggered something in Google, and now I'm getting bombarded with adverts. It has led me down the right track. The display ads also feature into ad remarketing. So we're back to, you know, those shoes you were looking at, and then they pop up on the websites that you're looking at subsequently, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go back and buy those shoes. So that's because you've been onto a website and then you've been tracked on that website, and then you get followed around the internet. So that's a bit smarter in terms of they know where you've been, they know what you've looked at, so they're going to remarket to you, which again is also quite a good one for brand advertising, because typically with the display ads and ad remarketing, you only pay when people click back through to your website. So you're getting that brand awareness without a massive cost. Does that make sense? If you've got a shop or whatever, then Google Local, which it's becoming more and more important to actually drive people towards a physical location. Okay. Affiliate marketing, so we touched on this at the start. So this is kind of like a financial recommendation model. So again, it's about buying space on another website, but it goes through a third party, such as Affiliate Futures or UK Affiliates. Now, I've only ever worked with Affiliate Futures. And basically they track, you buy space on someone else's website, and they will track from that website all the way through the purchase of your website until completion. And if there is a completed sale, then you give a fee to the, well, it goes to Affiliate Futures, and then they pass it back to the website that people came from. It is quite a complicated model. And like I say, I've only recently seen it done in one business that I've worked with. Interestingly, if you've got a website that's got really high traffic, it could be an opportunity for you to take adverts on your site. So think about that from a double-edged. If you've got a target audience that's quite niche, you get a lot of traffic, is there somebody else non-competing that could advertise on your website? Don't know, worth a thought. Okay. Native marketing. This is where you have editorial that looks like it belongs in whatever it is you're reading. You know, it's presented in the same style. It's written by one of the journalists that works for the publication. Basically, advertorial, we used to have them in magazines all the time. You get that sort of passive endorsement as though it's an editorial, but it's not a specific advert. So it's mainly used by larger businesses, and The Guardian run it through Guardian Labs. So they've been running lots of stuff about the new rules from work. I did realise that I've actually cut off who this has been paid for, but I guess it was by someone like HSBC or something to do with home insurance or something like that. But they had lots of content running recently on, you know, working from home, that sort of thing, and you would read it, and actually it's an interesting read with sort of the key messages coming out from the advertiser in a very subtle fashion, and it reads like a good piece of editorial. You know, it's good magazine content, and you may or may not be persuaded to then get an insurance quote from whoever it's from. Yeah. And then email marketing. So I would imagine that most of you are doing some sort of email marketing in one way or another. People tend to, whether it's structured or unstructured. The thing with your email marketing is to think about the people that are getting the email. So are they prospects, i.e. people that have made contact with you but never made a purchase? Or are they customers? Or are they lapsed customers? And really think about what messages will then activate those people to make a purchase from you. So with prospects, they've never actually had an experience with you, but they have made an inquiry. So you've already kind of had a buying signal. So it's just a matter of trying to work out actually what's going to tip them over the edge. And also decide when you're going to quit on that journey. You know, are you going to send them 6 emails over the course of a year and then go, do you know what, they're never going to buy anything? Or have you got a really long buying process where people might take years and years to decide to buy something? Or is it really instant? You know, they're either going to buy something or they aren't. So you're going to give up pretty quickly. With your customers, what you want to do is try and create a feeling that they can't leave you. They want to stay with you in some way. And there's lots of talk these days in retention marketing about creating tribes. So people feel like they belong to something, special. And Findra, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Findra. They make fabulous merino jumpers. Just do a little advert for them. They're not a client of mine, wish they were. They do this really well with their email marketing. So whilst they want to sell more of their wonderful merino stuff, they actually send out e-newsletters about their ambassadors, you know, what adventures they've been up to. Very much the sort of Findra merino message is really subtle. You know, it's about whether they've been climbing in Scotland or the Lake District or wherever it may be. They talk about podcasts of the week that you might be interested in, because they really know that their target audience are really interested in adventure stuff. They talk about food. They talk about places to stay. What they don't talk about an awful lot is their product, but people continue to buy from them. So they've really nailed who their target audience is and what messages they'll respond to. Tropic tend to go with, they understand their target audience, and they know that it's all about the ingredients, so they tend to push that kind of message a lot more. And they talk about a lot more about routines at different time of the year for your skincare and that kind of thing. Both of them come out fairly frequently, but both of them have targeted and engaging copy. So don't think of your email marketing necessarily as being sales, 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 sales. What you want people to do is think, actually, do you know what? I want to read their newsletter because it's interesting and it's useful. And then actually I probably will buy something again from Findra, or I will buy more Tropic stuff. And that's kind of like the side end of it. It's not just about trying to sell through people's inbox anymore. That's kind of moved on quite a bit. It's about creating a nice community for people to be in. You want them to buy into your brand. Yeah. Does that make sense? More nods, liking that. Okay. So getting started with all of this, think about where you're going to send people. Is it fit for purpose? Think about who you're trying to engage with. Like I say, next week's webinar, a bit more on target audiences. Think about what you're going to say. Think about how you stand out from the competition and what makes your offer really amazing. So like we were trying to work out with Russell, you know, knowing what makes your offer amazing will help you with lots of messaging, but it'll help you also with things like your search engine optimization, because Russell is going to find it really hard to compete with cottages.com and Sykes Cottages or whatever. But if he's got dog-friendly accommodation with great walks from the door and he doesn't mind muddy boots, then actually people who are searching being a bit more niche and trying to find that amazing proposition will then find Russell's accommodation. Think about how much you're willing to invest, so what your budget is, what you can afford, what your cost per acquisition is and your cost for retention. And always think about how you're going to measure it. So back to, you know, get Google Analytics on the back end of your website and really monitor what is being driven to your website. Okay, does anybody have any questions at all? Deathly silence. Oh, I can't read that. Started social. Can you put it in the chat? Can you read that, Mark, at all?
I can't. Let me see if I can make it bigger.
I haven't started any social media. Want to use above and build website to sell my online. Started Facebook page, completed at the moment due to an accident. Any tips from you? Welcome. I'm not 100% sure that I understand the question. Mark, is it worth, I don't even know this chap's name. Can you see?
It's Jonathan Hunter. Yeah, I can see his.
Okay, can you email Winning Moves and then they can forward it on to me and I can see whether we can do a reply via email later on. Is that okay? Have you got the contact address for Winning Moves?
I'm going to put that in. I'm going to put that in now.
Okay.
In fact, I'll put my address so then it'll come to me, and then I can direct from there. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Great stuff. I was going to ask you, Deborah, if I may. Just there's a couple of things that came to mind while you were sort of presenting. Have you come across any applications that are useful for making your email format more professional looking? If you're doing direct marketing, because obviously if it's just words, it doesn't always look so fantastic. You want to get sometimes get some images on there as well.
Yeah. So if you're doing one to many marketing like this, the classic one everybody always talks about is MailChimp. Which is dead easy to use. They've changed the pricing structure on it, so you can only have now one list, and you can only have up to, I think it's 1,500 contacts before you start paying. And then when you start and pay with MailChimp, it actually becomes quite expensive. So I've recently shuffled, I've got another business anyway, but I've recently shuffled that business over onto Campaign Manager, I think it's called, or Campaign Monitor. And the functionality is pretty much the same as MailChimp. It's still a paid for application, but actually it's cheaper than MailChimp. But I think Findra, I think theirs is done through MailChimp. I think Tropic's done through some bespoke stuff because they're a lot bigger. But yeah, certainly, you know, they're both really easy to use. You can format all of your headings and whatnot, drop images in. It's just like using any desktop publishing software.
Yeah, great stuff, thanks.
Anyone else?
Not wanting to hog all the questions, but the just one other thing that was that jotted down while you were speaking was just in terms of creating different content for your marketing. I think that's perhaps one of the potential barriers for people doing more marketing, is thinking actually you want to make it interesting and a little bit creative. And where does that come from? Again, have you got any sort of tips for keeping your marketing fresh and coming up with ideas to provide content on?
Yeah, sure. So content wise, I can't advocate enough spending time profiling your target audience and really understanding who they are, where they hang out, what their motivations are, behaviors, pain points and blockers to purchase. And that might sound like a massive project, and it's not a 10-minute job. But it is hugely worthwhile, and most businesses will find that they've got 4 or 5 different types of customer. We will cover some of that off next week, but in terms of actually developing content for them, so you need to think about actually what questions will they be asking that they want answers to. But if you want to shortcut that process, there is a website called answerthepublic.com. Where you can put in a subject. So I did this for my other business, so gravel biking, and it brings up all the questions that are asked about gravel biking. So what tyres do I need? What events are running? What luggage do I want? Or, you know, everything around that subject. So you can create content for your website or for your social media posts about actually questions that are being asked. There is another one, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. The other thing to look at is Google Trends. So Google Trends is another free Google product. And again, you can go there, you can put in whatever your subject matter might be, and it will give you an indication of the volume of searches taking place. And you can then think about when to post your blog content. So you want to be posting it like 2 or 3 weeks prior to the peak. So if you've got cyclical search patterns, so for like accommodation or whatever, it might be that people always start searching in January for cottage accommodation. So you'd create some blog content, get that up on your website sort of early December so that the little crawlery things have got time to find it. And then your content would start sort of indexing at the right time of year. So Google Trends, answerthepublic.com, and there is another one like that. I'm sure if you put alternatives to answerthepublic.com in Google, it'll tell you what that one is. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't like it as much. The format's not as nice to read. You're on mute now, Mark.
Have to do that at least once in each meeting. That's I've just put it in the chat, those two, just so people have got them to hand. So answerthepublic.com and Google Trends. I have heard of 1 or 2 others as well. I think there is some out there, isn't there? Which,
yeah. I do like answerthepublic.com. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can tap into. Like there's awareness days calendars, and you know, things that are taking place annually. So it might be that you talk about strawberries and cream when it's Wimbledon or whatever. You know, there's all the obvious sort of ones as well. But if you want to go niche, then using one of those is useful.
Great. Got a question from Colin. Thanks for this, Colin. Asking, how often would you recommend sending out an email newsletter?
How often?
Yes.
So that depends on your target audience. Yeah, it does massively depend on your business and your target audience. I can't stake an answer on it. I know businesses who send stuff out 3 or 4 times a week. I know businesses that send stuff out weekly. I know businesses that send stuff out monthly. It depends massively on purchasing patterns, how many people are on your database, how segmented it is, what your unsubscribe rate is, etc., etc. If you want to email Mark a little bit about what your business is and who your target audiences are, I can attempt to give you a bit more guidance on that, but I can't give you an answer on a general there, I'm sorry.
Great, thanks, Deborah. I was going to ask you as well, just while we wait for anybody, if any other questions, is any tips you have for keeping marketing front of mind for an internal perspective? Because I think it's one of those things that's quite easy to go by the wayside a bit when things get busy, or or other priorities take over. Any sort of tips for how to sort of make sure you keep at it, as it were?
Yeah, so my obvious answer to this, Mark, is, get yourself an annoying strategic marketing consultant who'll be on the phone with you going, what are you doing this time? No, if you're a sort of smaller business and you get caught up in the day-to-day and business is going well, then marketing can go by the wayside a little bit. And I think the important thing to think about is marketing's not just about acquiring customers. It's about making those customers who have had experiences with you in the past still feel good about your business, even when they've left your business. So it might be that you're a one-off purchase business model. What you don't want people to do is start and feel disappointed that they're not aware of you. So what you're always trying to do is make your customers feel like they're part of something, even if it's a one-off purchase. I think it is quite difficult in a sort of smaller business to keep it front of mind. If there's more than one of you, then it might be worth appointing someone to be like a marketing ambassador who will always bring it up at meetings and say, well, what is happening? What are we doing this month? But I do recognise it's tricky in a lot of industries. I work with a lot of businesses, different sizes, and quite often they say, well, actually, do you know what? We used to do a lot of this. And then it slips by the wayside.
Yeah. Great stuff. Wonderful. I don't see any other questions. As Lauren said, big thanks for today. She needs to go. So thanks very much for joining us, Lauren. That's really great. We've probably, I think, reached the sort of conclusion of the slides. What I just wanted to do very quickly, just share a bit more information about digital tech Cumbria program. So I'm just trying to take some control over the technology here, actually, which is proving slightly challenging.
Oh, okay.
I've got it now, I think. So obviously what Deborah's covered today is really, really, really useful stuff, and really enjoyed it. Thank you for sharing your insights, Deborah. It's been really, really useful. The Digital Tech Cumbria has been basically set up to help small and medium-sized businesses, so to you and I, less than 250 employees, less than 50 million turnover, to embrace digital technologies to improve your business. Whether that means, like the stuff we've covered today about marketing and promotion, or it could be about gaining efficiencies with your business. It could be about sort of finding new ways to develop new products and services, or to package what you do. Sorry, Deborah, do you mind pushing the slide forward? I don't seem to move it. That's great. There's a variety of areas, and I think the case for using digital technologies within business is well made. I think the thing is, it is a bit of a needle in a, or can feel like a needle in a haystack. So the program's been set up to help sort of find what's right for your business. So I think similar to, I think I presented at the start that Deborah's approach to marketing is very individual to supporting the business and helping them to achieve their aims. So is this. There's no good us coming with a bunch of digital solutions that we just dump on businesses. So the process is very much about sort of it's very much about understanding your business, so that we can then help you to find the technologies that will make the most difference to you. So whether that is things like sort of helping you identify and new clients, new customers, or keep your existing ones, pretty much as we've spoken about today, we can certainly help to do that. Sorry, Deborah, do you mind moving? Thanks. It's also about helping to drive sales. Next, please. But also some of the some of the nuts and bolts. So it is about sort of cybersecurity. We run webinars on this, and very sobering fact is that over half of us will get hacked at some point, or will get attacked at some point, which is pretty worrying. So almost regardless of the size of your business these days, we have some element of digital footprint, digital activities. Really important to remain cyber secure, and so we can assist with those areas. Next, please, Deborah. And also, adopting technology to where you do have that flexibility. Many businesses have had to very quickly change to working remotely from because of the pandemic. But once that's now established, that gives greater flexibility going forward. I think that picture looks very, very appealing, given how little we've probably all been able to travel for the last 12 months. But that idea of giving you flexibility whilst remaining secure, and also widening your things like widening the scope to find new employees, new people. I think again we've seen that particularly it's been emphasised over the last year that people in a lot of industries can work from anywhere, which of course widens our pool of people we can go to. So it can be very practical stuff, how to implement a CRM, how to move to the web, how to remain secure, how to find more customers. That's very much the sort of support that's offered through the program. And it's split down into very personalized support on a one-to-one basis, where a digital technology but also business expert can work with you to help you get started. We also have the Digital Skills Academy, which is running on a variety of different topics, including some of the ones that I mentioned. The value, although there's no grants with it, the value of the support provided has been valued at up to £5,000. So it's very much worth having. But more than that, it's not just about having something free, at no cost that's worth something. It's about sort of having impact. So we're very, very keen that whatever support you receive from us does have a lasting and positive impact on your business. So it makes it more sustainable and resilient in to deal with future challenges, but it helps you to grow and to be more profitable. That's what we're all about. You can see there that there's 180 up to 180 businesses will receive the support through the various areas of support that are available, and it's available until the beginning of 2022. So there's a bit of time, but lots of businesses already on board. So if there is something, if it is of interest, please do reach out to us, and we'll be delighted to help you. And I think the next slide just has the main contact details. I posted my personal, my business email in the chat for any additional questions to share with Deborah. But our overall program sort of addresses, we've got a portal there, Digital Tech Cumbria, and the EOI, that's to express interest, but you'll also find more information there. There's an email address and of course telephone number. Okay, next please. One thing we do with these, and perhaps I should have launched it before, is just to ask for your feedback actually. So I've just launched a poll. If in these final few moments, if you can just complete your feedback of how you found today, just helps us obviously to make sure we're providing events and content that's of interest and useful to yourselves. So I'll leave that running in the background. But happy to take any final questions, either about the program or if you have any further questions for Deborah, please do take the opportunity now to raise those. Okay, nothing's coming up immediately. So, but I know we have we've taken quite a few questions, and it's been great. It's been so interactive. Thank you for those that have contributed to the session. We are very appreciative of you investing your time with us for the last hour or so, and hope you've gained a lot from the session. As I say, we can go into more detail on a one-to-one basis or through skills academies. Of course, we have a number of other webinars as well, so please do join us for those as well. So unless there's any, we'll keep an eye on any final questions, but just leaves me, apart from thanking yourselves, of course, but big thanks to Deborah for a really insightful and enjoyable session. Deborah, thank you very much for this morning.